Yes, 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 yes. What's going on, man? Hopefully you can hear me on YouTube, man. Let's kill these comments. It's blocking. All right, Instagram. Oh, man, they're just about to start jamming, too. What's going on, man? So, we've got... Let me check it on the market. Looking at Dash here, forming a bottom. A lot of stocks, I mean, it's... Almost every stock seems to have the same chart pattern, right? Interesting. YouTube was holding. YouTube. Uber's been holding while the market's been going down. Now the market looks to be stabilizing and Uber's going down. So much for that correlation, right? Dietius. Appreciate you, sir, for letting me know you can hear me. What we're looking at here is Dash. A lot of these charts look very similar. What is that? That's weird. We got a shadow on this. If you note, this is classic resistance, right? Like if you're looking for chart examples of like support and resistance, like look at this. It stops, 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 stops. Pretty wild, right? Error, YouTube not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Hold on, Instagram. So much chaos in the market. Let's make some sense of it. Yeah, so this is Dash. We're bouncing off some support. We're seeing this in a lot of stocks have a very similar. I feel like I'm getting a good connection here. Anyway, might be some buffering going on YouTube. So classic support we see. So as a trader, if I'm observing this and I see support, we can kind of see resistance up here, right? Maybe you take that down a little bit. It's kind of like playing with hand grenades. It's not perfect. And it's just areas, zones that you're looking for. And if you notice on this one, this on Dash, previous bottom becomes support. This happens so much. And none of this is like with certain, none of it, now it says excellent condition. Come on, man, why are you playing with me, man? If we look at this, you know, it's like, what do we make of this if we're a trader? Oh, let me click it. I don't know why I hadn't penned before. It's in blue. I got to change that picture. That's kind of a, not a good picture for me, man. I'm talking about on YouTube. So as a trader, if I'm looking at this, okay, and I'm thinking like money flowing, right? That's what I'm thinking of. Movement of price, that it moves in 4 stages. So as I'm watching this and I'm saying, okay, resistance here was stage 3. We had this little down and it went to where price has gone before. Like there's memory, and memory is what creates support and resistance. These little zones where price stops. Now, how many do you need to have resistance? Well, technically you need 2, where 2 or more gathered. We need 2. It's kind of like you need a witness. We need 2. We need a person to commit it, and we need a witness of it. But sometimes one witness isn't as powerful as 3. And it's kind of the same in support and resistance, that the more areas prices stop there, we can pretty much bet the more likely it's going to stop there again. It gets hung up there. Often these are zones where the RSI goes extreme. Doesn't have to be. It's not in this case. Or it's zones of true value. Let's say Pfizer's worth $56. Every time it gets near $56, it kind of just stops going up because, well, now it's fair value, and the only person buying a stock at fair value is a person that thinks that it'll trade at an overvaluation. And this is definitely not the market for that. No stocks trading at very few stocks are trading at an overvaluation right now. And at a certain point, let's say this doesn't hold and this goes down. Then guess what? In the future, this would become resistance. So let's say the price breaks down. And when it goes down, guess what? Price is just a social agreement. Just 2 people coming together. Ain't nothing about that. There's no governing body of 5933. There's no one that makes this up. This is made up every day. The market opens and the chaos that is just begins. Buyers and sellers like lunatics are putting in orders. Some of them are computers. Some of them are insurance companies. Some of them are people like me and you. Like there's a dude painting a house who pulls out his phone and he buys a share of Amazon. Let me in. And there's also a guy sitting in an office somewhere, runs a family fund, he's got $1 billion, and he's like, let me in. Right? And then somewhere there's a teachers union fund. There's people working there. Let me in. And that's what's moving the markets, man. Fear and chaos. And at a certain point, prices get too cheap, and at a certain point, they get too high, and that's why we can play. And if it wasn't for that volatility, there is no trading, right? And so we have to, when we come to trading, we need to welcome it. Like, bring on the volatility. Let's go. Start playing the war drums. Bang them. Let's go. Bring it down. Or bring it up, man. Right? In order to go up, we need to come down, man. My friend may be on here. He was telling people, don't buy Ford. Don't buy Ford. They got problems. No shit. That's why you should buy it. Like, you got to buy problems. You got to buy problems. The only way you're going to win in this game of trading blue chip stocks over a long period of time is to buy stocks that are on sale. So when they go into a stage 4 decline, right? We believe in the money flow. I believe in the prices move in 4 stages. And they can get a little out of whack. I kind of call that it's not money flowing. But when it's not money flowing, it'll start. It's going to build a stage and then it'll break up or break down depending on the stock we're talking about. And you'll start to see this movement of price as it moves like this. And all these lines, like on here, you see that green line. That green line is, let's zoom in on Instagram, in case you're old like me and need glasses. Chapter 2, the money flow says moving average is the foundation of the money flow trading system, an indicator in technical analysis that helps smooth out price action by filtering out noise from random fluctuations. The buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell that's happening every day. A moving average, MA, is a trend following or lagging indicator because it is based on the past. And the government says past performance is not indicative of future results. Just because it happened again don't mean it'll happen again. That's why they call it a 500-year flood, just in case. See, if it's 500 years and it happens, I go, told you. Shit, sometime during 500 years, you're going to get a hit. I didn't even know there was such a thing. There's a 500-year flood. It's like, okay, I'm going to be alive about 80 of those. So on the off chance of the 420 years that everything will be cool, maybe I get hit. You might get hit twice, and it's like, wow, now it's the 250-year flood. That's a side note. Cosmic roll of the dice. This is Ford moving through the 4 stages of price movement. So what if you own this stock? Should you be fearful? Should you be concerned? You know, there's supply chain issues. Can't get chips. Hard to get parts for tires. Can't get those clutch parts. There's no way the factories can keep up. Matter of fact, we're probably going in recession, and who the fuck's going to buy a car during recession, right? You start weighing all this in. Federal Reserve's going to raise interest rates. It's going to cost more to buy a car. This is like the perfect storm. Yeah, that's why the stock's going to come down. The moment that starts to happen as an investor, if I'm watching Ford, where is it? As a trader, I should be watching Ford, right? Let's pull up Ford. My man said, don't buy it. We kind of need it. 4.58% dividend. You're like, man, they can't sustain that dividend if times get bad. Maybe not. I don't know. What I'm going to trade is the pattern of it. So what I'm going to look for, where a price comes down and then stops. And that's this. Now, the way I'm determining this, no matter how you want to execute on it, for me, and this is just for me, I don't know what you do. So as I watch price every day, oil, bonds, stocks, just flipping through charts, looking at things. Where could I allocate money? What's going on with my holdings? So I own Ford. I haven't bought Ford in a minute. And the reason being, I didn't think it was cheap, man. But as I look, and we're going to get to the S&P, man. I just feel like I need to talk about Ford. A lot of my friends are hating on it. Let's see. I'm not mad at you, though, man. I'm not mad at you, man. 45% discount. But the market is chaos, and it immediately goes to worst case scenario. Worst case fucking scenario. That's where we're headed on this stock. People are like, that dividend, don't even look at it. It ain't sustainable. They're not going to buy cars. Supply chain issues, recession, they're not buying cars. So that's what'll bring the stock down. And that'll play out as long, wow, what the hell, man? As long as, that'll continue to play out as long as the news is negative. And as long as what? The S&P 500 is going down. And if you look in the money flow, I'm more concerned about this than the death cross. Death cross doesn't weigh in, meaning long before the death cross, this will cross. So we'll already be in it. And then long before the death cross crosses the other way, we'd already be in it. So this cross is shorter. This is different. And you could have a 50-day or whatever day, right? But what it needs to match is, as you visually look at this, what I'm playing is a pattern, man. It's a pattern. And guess what? They don't all work, right? Because that would have been a setup for a stage 2 breakout. Didn't break. Matter of fact, not only did it not break, look at the 5-day moving average. It hadn't crossed. It hadn't crossed. But price is trying to break above the 20, and then what? Just immediately reverses, right? And then we broke this stage 4. And you notice price is trading below. Ever since it's been below the 5-day moving average, we've just headed down, 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 down. So stocks to the long side aren't going to work, man. You know, you can pick out any stock you want, and it's probably not going up. As long as these are pointing in numerical order down. Look at this. SPY is pointing down. Numerical order, 10-day exponential moving average. Numerical order, 5-day exponential moving average. As we look at this indicator here, RSI, is like it's like the yellow light. When you're driving, you got a yellow light and then a red light and a yellow light. That's what this is, right? That's the yellow light. And then down here is a red light. It means like if I can stop. Simple as that. It's just price velocity. Even if price is in a downtrend, it'll go down for a while, stop, drift, and then come back up as people take profits, cover shorts, as renewed thoughts of hope. Maybe it'll turn around. Maybe that was whatever the reason, starts to take it up. And then what? They change their mind. It's the chaos of the stock market, man. Chaos to cash. It's the title of the book I'm working on right now. And it moves. And what I believe is that it'll move. Not always perfect. But I'm looking for this pattern. Meaning, I know it doesn't happen all the time. I'm looking for when it starts to happen. Because as it starts to happen, I can pinpoint my actions, man. And so I can systematize it. And it begins to make order out of the chaos. And I know prices come down, and I know when they do, they stop. And so I'm always looking for me, what I define as stop, which I call the anchor point, means the lowest low of that move. So on a stock like Ford, yeah, we could go read, see what all the problems are. But on Ford, I'm looking for a bottom, man. I mean, I think they're smart. They'll figure it out. They've been around for a minute. And so I want to accumulate on those bottoms. If I'm going to be a dividend investor, that's what I got to do. So I will look across my portfolio and go, okay, where do I think is the best use of my money? Which is a much better way of doing it than, say, avoiding stocks that are in trouble. Because your biggest returns are going to come from stocks that have problems. They get knocked down. You know, that's going to be some of your best plays as an investor over time. Look at the RSI, 39. 39. What does that tell us? It's not extreme. We know it can go lower. So, is the bottom in? We could be building a base here. And remember what we were looking for on the SPY. What's the second thing I'm looking for? I'm looking for the RSI, but what am I looking for the possibility that this thing has changed momentum. And it's that MACD histogram. Let's close this down. Sorry about my stand here. 385, man. And we could be building a stage. We have an anchor point. Now, check this out. This was the lowest low. But look at where it closed. If you were to connect the closes, you see that? During the day, price ran down, but it came back up above the previous day's close. And so what you start getting is this effect where price starts to move sideways. Now, you got to watch close if you're like trying to catch it like that, okay? I said the same thing here because that's what it was doing. Okay? That's what I'm waiting for. For what? This. That one stalled out. They don't all stall out. You get what I'm saying? So as I'm trading, that's what I'm looking for if I'm inside the money flow. I'm waiting for that setup, stop, hold it, give some confirmation. Then I know what? I'm playing this side. I'm playing this side. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, man. My man Ron says semiconductors could skyrocket with the war talk coming back. I would agree the price of semiconductors, dude. Does that necessarily translate to the stocks if the stocks can't produce chips? Like, you know, if some shit goes down with China invading Taiwan and the chips come offline, you know, I guess the play there is who's making chips outside of Taiwan, right? I apologize for the buffering down there. I don't know what's going on with my YouTube. I'm being jammed, man. Think it's the Russians. So we are putting in a base, and one thing you should see, if we look at the histogram, it's ticking up, man. Look at this. We got our tick, man. That says momentum to the downside has turned. It's no longer going down. It's starting to drift back up, man. That's the momentum. That's all this is momentum. It's not perfect. So it's just a piece of the puzzle that I'm putting together. Where's momentum right now? It just stopped to the downside and ticks to the upside. Now the day's not over. Day's not over. And look at this. Chassis setting up perfect. What are we waiting on? That break, man. It's coming. Now, does this hold? They're smoothing that out. So if you come over here and look at a moving average and the price is on this side, the 10 is on this side, and the 5 is on this side, you're going straight down. This is a downtrend. Everything about this is bearish. It's moving down. So as a trader, as an investor, I'm watching this closely because I don't know where the bottom is, man, but I know I want to be there. I don't know about you, man. I'm trying to catch it as I can. So I'm watching it. So if I got money to allocate today, I try to have money. I'm watching this. I want to see where's the S&P, man. Where's it at, man? 385 right now. And for me, the S&P is the SPY. SPY, it's the easiest to get in and out of for me. There's probably cheaper denominations of this. I mean, you could buy the same thing, but it's $38.50. I'm trying to think of the ticker of the other one. It's a tenth of the SPY. Man, we could be seeing the birth of a baby here. Hope you guys see that, man. Man, what is going on with YouTube, man? I didn't bring my other phone or I could listen to my damn self. All right, so that's the SPY. Let's drop this to a 1 hour for a second. I mean, you see what's happening? You see it? This is a 1 hour chart of the S&P. We tried the money flow. Didn't work. Notice on the 1 hour, the breakout never came. So down we go. Now what? We put in a base. What was it, yesterday or the day before? We were on here. We were live. Remember I said, hey, it's breaking out. And then it kind of pauses. And now it's still above it. That's fine. It's trying to turn the moving averages, man. Moving averages they're lagging indicators because it's based on past price. So these crossovers you see, price realigning, like right here, look, you see where they realigned? Well, it tried to do it here, couldn't pull back, holds that, and then goes for it again. Pretty common. That's what you're seeing here. Tried to go for it, pulls back, holds this, right? We're still above that, and it's trying again. You're seeing that saucering effect, right? It's turning this ship, man. And what you're looking for is the 5-day, 10-day to cross above the green, and then price starts to go that way. And then what? Now we're going the other way. Now we're money flowing the other way. Now we're going from the 3 to 4 to 1 to 1, breaking out, price moving, pushing above all three moving averages, and then holding it, you know, and you'll see this pattern play out. Look at this pattern on the weekly chart. This is a massive money flow pattern. This is bizarre. This is PayPal. And stage one's right on there. Crazy, man. This is a huge. And then what? Now we're on that side. So if you're looking at this a weekly, it could easily run to 120, right? Easily run to 120. That's PayPal on a weekly. Huge fractal, right? And then the SPY on an hour. And we're seeing the same effect. Same movement of price, right? Look at it too, man. Look at this. The 5-day just crossed the 20. Look at that. But look, the 10's not there, man. 10 days not there yet. See it down there? See it? It's pretty weird. So we'll see. We'll see as this develops. So that's on the 1 hour. Go back to the daily, and we could have a stage one forming here, man. We'll see. It's happening on the 1 hour first. That makes sense. It's the lower time frame. So if it starts to move on the 1 hour, eventually that's going to trigger the daily, right? Enough dailies trigger the weekly. And this is the fractal time and nature of the stock market. So that's why on the screen there, I got a 20-day moving average. That represents 1 month. So price is well below the average of the last month, right? And we would define an uptrend as price is above it. So when it's about to, when it's moving above it, it's breaking out. Price is above the average price of the last month. And that, by definition, defines an uptrend, meaning for the last month, price average is trickled up. And it tells you what? Well, things are getting more bullish. And a lot of that will get reported in the news. And as this goes up, it would get reported and it would keep going, right? Until what? Until it hits something of equal force that either the news flow or fear or whatever it is turns it. And this thing just runs through this pattern, man. That's what I believe. As price is always swinging back and forth, trying to find true value based on the value of its current circumstances. That changes. Money is a social agreement. A beach condo could be worth $412, and in today's world, it's only worth $320. You're like, why? It's way more expensive. It's hard to get financing. A lot of problems. Weather's been bad. 2 years from now, they could be 512. Things change. Money changes. People love stocks. People don't like stocks. People love Dogecoin. Now they don't talk about Dogecoin. People like baseball cards, and then they don't talk about baseball cards. But even if you don't buy baseball cards, somebody buys baseball cards. So the markets stay there. It's just the price values fluctuate because money and value is just a social agreement between two people. 1 minute, Bitcoin's worth $68,000. Now it's worth fucking 19. They just, fuck it, I don't want to buy it anymore. And that's it. That's all it takes. And then a whole lot of people agree. And that's what these moving averages are. You can just look at it and see, man. If price is below it, a whole lot of people are disagreeing. So it changes. And it'll go that way for a while until a lot of people go, I don't know, man, at this price, it looks pretty good to me. And that equilibrium of people buying and selling, fear and greed, that's what makes this pattern play out. Once you believe that, then the pattern begins to make more sense. That it's just chaos, man. All right, let's look at Uber. Somebody tried to say Uber was breaking down below the 20-day moving average. Not today. So we're still playing on this breakout. So if you had the cojones, you could step in on this. You're buying the same breakout. You believe it? Is it going higher? You think so? You're like, oh no, the Fed's going to talk. Is it going higher? We'll see. Here's the problem. You got a lot of overhead resistance. But guess what? This is Uber. You got a very easy stop. I bet these call options aren't that expensive. What do you think? Let's see. Man, they're only $32, man. Let's check the call. Ooh, it's about even. Actually, there's more puts than there are calls. 2-1. In the short term, let's check October. Ooh, pretty even. What does that mean, man? So you're not... It's pretty even on the put to call ratio on Uber. We got support and we got resistance. Price is above the 20-day moving average. It rejected going below it today. But we got a lot of rollovers here, man. So this is a wait and see. I'm long. Do you step in on this? Maybe. 2-year Treasury yield tops 4% for the first time since 2007. All right. $20-year Treasury bond. Just a never-ending fucking stage 4. That's what bonds are. Never-ending. XLF. Somebody asked me to look. I'm sure it's the same as all the others. Let's pull it up. Yep. We got a giant stage 1. Dude, I think the market's about to rip. I think it's about to rip. But I'm an optimist. I think every support's going to hold. And I think we're going back to the top because I'm addicted to this money flow shit. I think that's the way it works. I think the market goes sideways and it goes up and it goes sideways and it comes down, then it goes sideways and then explosion up. We shall see. It's in the hands of Powell. I don't know what he's going to say or what he's going to do, but that's what I think is going to happen. I think we're setting up to rip, man. We'll see. You start watching, if we watch these, the histogram is starting to turn the other way. When that turns the other way, it tells you, look, the momentum to the downside is stopped. It's about even money right now. and we definitely got a floor. So these are the kind of things, man. Here's what I used to do back in the day when I was younger and trading like a crazy man. I just put a stop right there, man. Buy a shit ton, put a target right there. I mean, it was nothing more complicated than that. And, I'm betting that the pattern itself, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is now 1, that if it doesn't rip, then I get stopped out early. Whatever. The other side of that, you got sell orders here, and your stop loss is up here, right? Probably a little tighter. And you're playing the other way. And if I'm playing that way, then my targets are down here. So you can play either side, man. You can be binary, bro. You can use the neutral restroom. It's for binary folks. All people. You can play both sides here. Up or down. Top or bottom. You pick. There's your targets. But I always play to the upside usually. But there's our levels, right? XLF. These are easy option plays because the options are cheaper. I honestly think it's going to rip too. All of these stage ones are usually a good sign. Yes, sir. DS is 88. Is it a risk of being removed from the exchange? It's possible. Penny stocks are always a risk. I don't think that happens. But it is in straight free-for-all, man. I don't know. Might research on that and get back to me and see what you think. I wouldn't think it's going to be delisted, but it does run that risk if it continues to go lower. I'm guessing there's some awful news out there. I haven't really read any news on it recently. There's got to be something out there for it to be going this bad. I haven't added in a while. I mean, that's trading at like bankruptcy prices. A lot of stocks have been hit though, man, like this. They're, more than DS, but penny stocks get it worse. We'll see. We should research that. I'm going to call in my crack research team. Look at Microsoft here, and then we'll get out of here, man. Kind of a mixed signal, huh? Microsoft's hanging in there, tried to push up. The momentum has turned. I don't know. I feel okay. We'll see what happens when Powell talks, man. Who was trying to come on, man? Haley. Jeez. I don't know you, Haley. You don't get on my live, man. I don't know who you are. You might be a pervert. Haley's trying to jump on my live. Haley, I don't know you, man. I don't know who you are. Who are you, Haley? Why rest in peace? The titles are just to catch attention. You notice there's question marks. Rest in peace, S&P 500, question mark. We'll see, because we're right on the edge. That's it, man. That's all I got. If you don't have my course Getting Started with Stock Charts, you should get it. If you're on my subscription feed on Instagram, I sent out my numbers for Airbnb this month. I'm gonna do a live here shortly where we go through the MLS and we look at properties. And we'll look for some to rent. And we'll go through here. go through and try to find some that look rentable. We'll look at some different areas, man. I'll show you some of the stuff I do on how I use Realtor and Zillow. Thanks for you do, man. Appreciate you more than you know. Yeah, man, you're a country girl trader. You're a country girl and you trade. Yeah, I'm going to dig into DS, but other people should dig into it too and see what you see. I hadn't seen anything that would make it appear the company was in jeopardy, but goddamn, that's a ferocious downsell. So it's either a great opportunity or a problem. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Somebody asked me to do that. I'm going to do a live and go through some Realtor.com, Zillow.com, how I use them, just scanning for properties on the MLS, ways you can find them. A lot of my properties have come from MLS, so it's not impossible to get deals on the MLS. I mean, but I've gotten off deals. I've gotten them from brokers. I've gotten them from people knowing that I buy properties, just neighbors knocking on doors, shit like that. Like, there are a lot of ways you can get a property. Dom followed by Moscow 315. I was about to say something about your picture, and then it says followed by my buddy Nick. So you might be a buddy of his, so I probably shouldn't pick on you for having a golf picture on your Instagram. It tells me you bullshit a lot. Like to play games a lot. Guy takes a lot of days off trying to get rich, but he's so busy being off golfing he can't get rich. A lot of guys play golf that aren't rich. And then they ask you, man, how do you get rich? And it's like, stop playing golf. That would help. Stop fucking vacationing. Put your money to work. That would help. Stop bullshitting. That would help. Would you definitely appreciate more things to consider when looking for real estate? Would you now? Let's see. DS last earnings was okay. I thought it was okay too. Can't find anything in the news. Ameritrade recommends it as a buy. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've been with DS. I've made money in DS, but right now I'm underwater in DS. But I had bought it at like $1, wrote it to $3. I do think it's worth $5. Now we're back to below $1. You know, I hate to bail on a stock when it's the opportunity. You know, one man's foreclosure is another man's opportunity. So sometimes when you blow out of a stock, if a guy doesn't own it, he might be looking at it going, damn, this is a deal. So I don't want to blow out of a deal just because I'm already in the deal. Does that make sense? Like, I kind of look at it like, let's say I own some properties and then the value of my properties drop, but I got money to buy more properties. Do I go, fuck it, and sell my houses for a cheap price because the other houses came down? And I want to own this. These all came down, so I'm going to sell them. And the next guy's like, holy shit, you see the price of these houses? And then he buys them and rides it up, you know, and so it's like, no, I want to keep mine plus buy more. So I don't want to be that guy. So anytime you're blowing out of a stock, if it's been an investment or position trade, you got to ask yourself, if you didn't own it, would you be buying it here? That's the dilemma I always have with selling properties. The last house I sold killed me because, fuck, you could just bought it from me. It was ready to go in cash flow, you know. So I hated selling something that I like to buy, but I needed a large sum of money to do the next deal. So that's a hard dilemma, man, at times. We'll see. We'll see. I like Uber. I'm always hesitant to tell people the stocks that I really like because then sometimes people get crazy with it. I like Zim. I think this is great. If we go in full-blown recession, the stock will have problems. And it's going straight down now. And all they've been doing is putting out good news, man. So I don't know what to say on that. Stocks go down because people sell them. And, you know, we can sell them when they cross over. We could buy puts on them. We could close out the deal. I mean, we can use the money flow for however you want to use the money flow. This is available. I mean, it just is what it is. And so we got to make sense of the numbers, and we got to ask, you know, am I cool holding forward into a 30, 40% down move? I've done it several times. You know, I've wrote it to $4 last time. And then I wrote it up to 25, and now we're back to, what are we at on Ford now? Like, now we're back to $13. So if you bought it at 25 and you're at 13, you're like, fuck this. This is a 50% drop, man. Right? This is Ford we're talking about, not Bitcoin. So Ford was $25, guys, not that long ago. I owned 1,000 shares. And it was $25,000. Now I own 1,000 shares and they're worth $13,000. And in this interim, from here to here, they've instituted a dividend that's almost 5%. Right? When they cut the dividend, now let me show you, tell me, explain to me how the market is logical. The dividend was cut here. So the stock fell and then COVID hit because it's part of that shit. And we're into here. That's Ford. And if you bought it from here to here, you're down 50%, man. This is not cool. And they cut the dividend. People blow out of it. And you're like, yeah, it makes sense. They cut the dividends. Nobody's buying cars and, blah, blah, blah. And then it proceeds to go from $4 to $25. I mean, one of the great historic moves. I didn't need to run a filter. I just needed to buy the stock that I already owned. I didn't need a filter for this. I just needed to be aware of the shit that I own. And if I blew out over here, this doesn't happen. Now, this makes up for a whole lot of dumb things. When you buy some stocks at $4 and ride them to 25. And you're like, well, how would you have gotten out? Well, you wouldn't have. But here's the funny thing. You can see these RSI extremes. You know these are sell points. So if you would have sold some at the top and you're like, well, it wasn't the top. Well, you sold some more at that top. Remember, like I say on the way down, you can buy every bottom. People say you can't pick bottoms. Bullshit. I buy bottoms all the time. I just may not be the bottom. There might be another one. And I'm going to buy that one too. Assuming I have money. I'm going to identify it anyway, right? So I can identify all tops and all bottoms. Because market moves from tops to bottoms. It goes from one bottom, creates a new bottom, then another bottom. It's organic. It's just moving sideways, then runs up and trends up for a while, and then it stops. That's what it's doing, man. Well, it tries to find true value. And for whatever reason, people thought it was worth $25 here, and now they think it's only worth $13. And here, it has a 5% dividend, and here, it had no dividend. Explain that. So the best buying opportunity was when this guy was blowing out. He's down 50% and they cut the dividend. I mean, so if you apply that logic forward to all stocks, makes this world not so cut and dry, man. All right? I mean, unless you can figure out how to get on some side of that. So for me, a lot of that is through position trading or through buy and hold, meaning I'm going to hold it. That was already determined. It is what it is. Take it down. Meaning I might buy a little at 10. Shit, we might buy some down here at 7. And we're just going to ride it forward, man. For the rest of my life, I'll be in this stock. And I have that down on like 60 stocks. Now, I can't add to all of them. But I can add to different ones at different times, right? So, and I can also do that based on position sizes. You're like, well, I got a bunch of oil. Then stop adding to it. And turn your attention to something else. So this is packaged foods here. Kraft. Your kids eat macaroni and cheese. Right there. It's now trading below this yellow line. Historically, that's a great time to invest when other people don't want it. That's the definition. It's below the 200-day moving average, man. And when price pushes down into there, if you were to go look this thing up, I bet it's undervalued, let's say 35%. Let's see real quick. Kraft. Come on, man. What did I say? 35? Come on, man. I bet I could sit on a show and they could just throw tickers and I'll tell you how much it's underpriced by. Just looking at the chart. So, let's see. Look at this. We got a pivot point. Now it's below the thing. So if I'm applying the money flow, what? I just got to back it up. There's my stages, right? They're tight. It's tight. See this money flow? It's tight, man. Like your customers that got the little T-Rex arms, they can't reach their wallet. They're like, I can't buy your book, Gerald. My arms are so little. It's like the T-Rex. I can't reach my wallet. You ever see those? Their hands are so, they can't reach their wallet. Look, see the pattern? Sideways, up. We don't control the direction of the pattern. I'm just in flow with the pattern. The further this thing goes down, this is in my buy and hold. This is a dividend stock. Yeah, take it down, man. We'll pick up the stage ones. The problem is you got to be committed to that. That only works when you're committed to the portfolio. So the way you commit to your portfolio is you own different stocks in different sectors, and you build the positions up over time. And every sell-off, you're going to get new opportunities, but you're not going to get all the opportunities. Meaning you're going to maybe you're like, well, I've got a lot of banking stocks, and they're like, why? And you're like, well, if I can, you remember when the Feds were raising interest rates back in 2022? Yeah, I bought a bunch of banking stocks, man. Still got that shit. It's now 2032. Like, man, you got 100,000 of that. Yeah, I know. I bought like 25 G's back then over like a year or two, and then I've just held it for 10 years. You're like, oh, that's how you get 40, 50,000, and yeah, and then you don't spend it. You just keep it. And then you watch it, and then you can see these cycles, and maybe sometimes like maybe your utility stocks get really, really high, right? Remember that? So it's what was XLU? And so if that position is overweighted, maybe into these run-ups, you could take some off, man. To do what? Buy whatever. You could do that or just watch it. Like, I don't want to buy this. I want to buy this. This is so fun. Come on, man. Once you have time, once you understand time times amount times yield, the multiplication power, and now that the dividend game is just dumb. Like, this is just for dumb people. And you go, what do you mean? Meaning dumb people can make money. Like, that's what I mean. Like, real estate is a dumb man's game. There's just not a lot involved. You know, the hard part is financing and finding it. But everything else is simple. This is simple. And you're like, what do you mean? Like, here's the money flow, right? Sideways, up, sideways, down. That's a money flow pattern, is it not? What about this over here? Sideways, up, sideways, down. That's a money flow pattern, is it not? Well, these pay like 4 or 5% yields. You're like, what do you mean? I mean, I can fucking trade and get paid to do it. So I could buy this. So if I come in and buy, say, $100,000, you're a player, right? You're not going to play with baby money the whole time, I hope. A lot of people are playing with baby money. Like, they don't have enough in there to really be nervous. Like, get you about 600,000 in the stock market. Get about 600 in there. These kind of moves here, you know, you're up 10, 12, 15,000. You can trim it. Go add to something else. You're still collecting the dividend here, but you're taking some gains because you timed it right? Meaning if you're building it up on stage ones, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then that thing runs and it's banging 70 RSI and you're up 4,000, 8,000, 9,000, you can pull some off, man. That's harvesting your profits. Like if you own a property and the value goes up, you can borrow out equity, take that and go buy another property. Do the same thing in stocks, man. As soon as you stop playing with baby money, start playing with big money, man. So there's dudes that are running millions in there, man. When you're running millions and you got, 100,000, dude, I got jacked. Are you serious? Oh, there we go. So look on a weekly. Let's back it up even. Let's go to a monthly. Look at this shit, dude. Look at this. Look at this. Everybody's looking for secret stocks and shit. This is utility stocks, electric companies. Edison, Duke. Since 2009. Look at this. Isn't that crazy, man? One of the greatest investments of our lifetime. Utility stocks. Your power company. How do you find stocks? They're in your house. They're all around you. You eat them, you drink them. You didn't need to run a filter. Just pay your electric bill. Just open your eyes. Like, most of the money is right there in front of us. This is just utility companies. So if you put in Southern Electric, think of all the crazy stocks we're out buying. Oh, we got to buy this. What about, we're buying Palantir. It's like, man, look at utility stocks, though. Look at this. These are my second largest positions, by the way. Why? I just buy stage ones, man. There's no magic. I have a portfolio, and when they're on sale, I buy stage ones. Anybody that's in the money flow, you've heard me. I always buy utilities. This is utilities just go up, man. And it's like, I don't know why. I know why, because they pay ever increasing dividends. Why? It's called inflation. It's called inflation. Your electric bill will go up. When it goes up, they raise the dividend. When they raise the dividend, the stock price goes up. And that just keeps going, man. That's just going to keep going and going. Not to say that not catastrophic things can't hit it. But when you own these things, different assets and different, and when you catch it, it's up to you to break it up. You might be like, well, shit, I'm going to sell all, I made all this money over here in utilities. Let me sell it all and go buy growth stocks. And then it just keeps grinding, man. And this right here, believe me, I think about doing that shit a lot because I got a bunch of money in this shit. Look at that fall. That's during the COVID days. Back when we all had VD. Back in the VD days, that's what I'm going to start referring to it as. Remember when we all had VD? So 65 to 35, a 50% catastrophic drop. Look at that. That's a buying opportunity of a lifetime. I bet you almost no one that owned that stock there when it dropped 50% were like giggling. Oh, this is great. I'm going to buy some more. Nobody's doing that. Nobody. Like, to do that, you got to be ahead of that game. Like, you're doing that. You get what I'm saying? Some people are. Those people are known as rich. That's how you get rich. And if you take this back, every opportunity like that. So real quick, flip that, man. So we need these. We need these big drops. We need these bear markets. It's the only way to get rich for us, through building wealth. I mean, not trading stocks, but just building wealth. These are amazing. They're amazing, man. Duke is another one I have a big one in. These are oil stocks. I made about 100,000 so far. I mean, obviously it could come down. That's where I'm up. I'm up about 100K in the last year, I guess, in oil stocks. Is it genius on my part? Nope. I just, like a fool, buy stage ones. And there were a shit ton of them in here, you know. I was buying them back here, though, too. And back here, too, right? And so the ones I bought here, you're like, man, you're smart when it's up here. It's like, yeah, I know. And then oil stocks just kind of went, this right here is a monthly chart, dude. So that's about a year and a half where Exxon floated from $60 to 75, back to 60 to 75, back to 60, back to 75, 60, 75. That's an entire year right there. And then what? Catastrophic drop. And you got to wonder if the guy that bought a bunch here is just giddy that his stock is now $30 and he's down 60 something percent and all the news is negative and nobody's going to use oil and, all that shit. And then just as it recovers from COVID, we do it again. And then now it's here. Now, the guy that's here, he don't really give a shit that it's here now. Like this, he's forgotten all about this. He don't even remember what he had for lunch back then. Get it? You don't even remember what you had for lunch back here. I mean, if I asked any of you, can you tell me in 2020, what was your big problem on Tuesday? Remember that thing you were worried about? Do you remember? No, nobody remembers. And that's how a lot of these events are. So the Fed talking now, all this shit, you don't even remember. You're not going to remember this day. There's nothing about it. No matter what he says, 5 years from now, you won't even remember it. So, but what we can know is this, man. This is how price is going to move. And so the way I made $100,000 in oil stocks wasn't being some genius that knew. No, it's like I have oil positions, and when other people sell them, I add to them watching this blindly like a complete moron, just sideways, up, sideways, buy a share, up, don't buy a share, sideways, buy a share, don't buy a share. Months go by, buy some, dividend, buy some, 2 years goes by. Oh shit, now after 2 years of ownership, I'm down 60%. This game sucks. No, buy a share, buy, compound dividend, buy, and then what? Rocket, utilities. Like it's why we have to be diversified, man. We don't know. Maybe I'm long silver right now. Fuck, I don't know if that's gonna run, but I know it's setting up, right? So if I want to build a silver position and I've got patience, what do I'm looking for? RSIs, man, stage ones, right? Right? So if it goes and runs, is it conceivable that silver could ever in its lifetime go to 24? Of course, it's done it many times, right? So if I'm building a position and it starts to break, so we stop, and then it comes down, oh, back to building, starts to break, so I stop, right? Oh, back down. What am I doing? That means all of that I only bought 3 times. Once a little bit in May, it's come down. I bought a little bit in July, come down. I bought a little bit in September. If it then rips, but that's not how most people see trading, bro. That's trading to me. That's trading around a position. I call that position trading. And that's most of my trading. People don't like that because they don't like the feeling that when it's really a good deal. The stage one that's really going to be the one that helps you, they're not there. One man's foreclosure. So as I began to see that, it's like, okay, so I got to build out this fortress. And you're like, what do you mean? This money fortress. Like, I don't know which stocks, so I need like 40, 50 good ones. Can't buy them all at the same time. Today you can, though. It's actually different than it was. So I'm picking them, boom, boom. And then, okay, I want to add this second, boom, boom. Okay, I got banks, boom, boom. I need this, boom, boom. I'm going to buy that. I need boom, boom, boom. It's not all in on marijuana stocks. That's crazy, man. It's buy some marijuana stocks. Maybe it takes 3-4 years, Now you pick up a train and you're going to build this out over your life, man. This is actually how they do it. And now if you come to the market with, 200,000, well, you can just buy a portfolio. Now what? Now you have one. Now it's like, what? No. What? Like, it's not going to rub your back. You now own these assets. And it's like, now what? What? Yeah, exactly. What? And it's like, what do you think is going to happen? Now you got to manage it, right? Which means position sizing. And here's what'll kill that game. You get fucking antsy. You don't like 2 years where a stock's been going down. You like 2 years where Exxon went down when it's $97. You're like, wow, man, I built that up for 2 years, dude. It looks smart now. But when it's happening, people, they would jump. They'll shift. They're going to shift, man. So think on that, man. What time is the rate hikes, man? I'm going to say 2:00, right? Think on that because that is a form of trading, but it's also investing, bro. It's investing, We want to buy it when it's cheap. myself fired up, man. Let's see. Checking the video. Oh, bro, look at this. This is a breakout happening, man. You're a sexy bastard. Look at this. We're back in the box. So if you're trading, if I'm trading, I just get long as fuck this. Like right now, man. Like this is what you're looking for. This is where it's turning. You got the cross, and we could backdate it, and we had already been in, I'm sure. But as you're watching this, if you're stalking this stock, man, it's like I'm stalking it. I'm stalking these. And, you know, I got it closed back. We were talking about that earlier about it closing in the box. Even though there's candles that dip down, it's still staying in there. Now we're turning. We're above the 5. Price is pushing. All the indicators are, look, we got the breakout on stochastics. What is it? What time are we on here? Please tell me this at daily. Yeah, so let's go to the 1 hour. There we go. We already got the breakout though, man. Look. So on the daily, if you think you got a bottom, there was your breakout, man. So you're buying it, what is that? 130, 131, you're already up $4. You're already up $4. Look at this. What an easy target. And then that's the money flow. Sideways up, sideways down, sideways up. You know? And then so as this thing moves, where do you want to put a stop? So if we're trading, it's like we're just trying to get to there and give me my money. Bam, bam. And your game is pulling those off. Lots of those. Bam, bam. You know, there's your anchor point on that pattern. So your stop's like down in here. Once it pops, I mean, do you want to move it up? I mean, you could. At this point, if you move most of your stops up to where you got in, I mean, you're in free, and you got a $4 stop going right now. So when I was doing a lot of day trading stuff, what I was doing is following a bunch of stocks, and I'm looking for the update, and I'm watching the SPY, and I'm looking for a possible stage 1. That's what I was saying yesterday. Is this the bottom? And then I was, you know, it looks like it, except the RSI is giving me problems, and obviously the Fed talks the next day. But if we look a lot of these charts, like we can see the stage 1 forming on the daily. Well, if we drop down in time, it's going to form even faster on a 1 hour because there's 6 of those bars in a daily. So we can see that box being built on the 1 hour. And if I'm short-term trading, I use that 1 hour to get those fine purchases, $130.50 to what? I want to hopefully get out of most of it at 144. And on a daily, that's going to look like price, ripping up maybe from the Fed talking. We don't know. Maybe it rips down, but that's what that would look like. And he says what everybody thinks. This runs up into what? Just hitting the beginning of a stage 1 on the daily. You've banged it, hit your target, collected the money from the hourly. That's if you're short-term trading, And that's trading too. That is a form of trading. And some people refer to that as momentum trading. You're literally feeling, tape reading the momentum of the market, which is what? The SPY. So all things are right here, man. So if I'm on the hourly. If I think this is the bottom on the daily, on the SPY as a trader, I'm like, all right, this market has stopped. Look, all the closes are in this bar here. Has it ever stopped here before? Well, this is basically where the previous breakout was. Notice that? Kind of completes a box there. And we can visually now see the pattern, sideways up, sideways down, right? And so it starts to make sense. So I'm seeing the money flow just visually. Now I'm jumping it because we don't know that that's the anchor point. We think so. It's slowly building, right? Slowly building. It's slowly building. Where are we at? Oh, I got on the wrong one, man. So if we count that as our anchor point, you say why? Because we were using the close, remember? That every one of these closed above this candle's low. So I'm being real tight with this. And the momentum has turned. And we're looking for up. Now, Dash is one that I was wanting to play. So let's see where it is. It's setting up for a trade. I'm already long, though. But let's say I wasn't. And we know that if the market rips, Dash is going to rip. Oh, my God. It looks like a money flow pattern. Come on, man. If I ain't on your Christmas list this week, man, all you guys that don't send me a Christmas present, I'm probably going to stop talking to this year. I feel like God's wasting me. I was sent here to give you Illuminati information. And I can't even get a Christmas card. So, I mean, look at this pattern, dude. There was our break. There was the momentum. So as we're tracking it on the low, there, look at that. There's our anchor point on the 1 hour. It stops right at previous support. And it's been building sideways since. Now this is a 1 hour. So the pattern's building faster, right? And so let's say our target was 65 and we're just short trading this because we're doing a 1 hour. If we go to the daily, where is $65? Man, it's just right back at the previous box. Do you think it's possible that it could go there? Is that even conceivable that they say something and it pops up to there? Well, in that 1 hour, if I'm really short-term swing trading, bam, that's my money. And that's a money flow pattern. It's a fractal money flow, stage 1, 2, right? There's your little pattern being built. But when we drop it to the 1 hour, it's much more pronounced, right? It's much clearer money flow pattern. That's because it's fractal. It's fractal. A fractal is a never-ending pattern. Fractals are infinitely complex patterns that are self-similar across different scales. They are created by repeating a simple process over and over again in an ongoing feedback loop. Driven by recursion, fractals are images of dynamic systems, the pictures of chaos. Geometrically, they exist in between our familiar dimensions. Fractal patterns are extremely familiar since nature is full of fractals. For instance, trees, rivers, coastlines, mountains, seashells, and hurricanes are abstract fractals. Interesting, man. Said wolves never get nervous. They get your... Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate it. We've got 125 people on YouTube, 83 on Instagram. I don't know why Instagram stopped loving me, man. I stopped getting likes. They stopped clicking on the things. I guess they're bored, man. I guess they're bored, man. I'm just going to have to just do YouTube, I guess. I guess I just got to do YouTube, man. That's it. I don't know. Do YouTube and subscription on Instagram. $65. So that's how I would analyze that, man. I hope that helps. We did some short-term trading here today. If you're in the Money Flow gang, we're probably going to have a guest, a guy named Manny. He is a trader and fairly proficient at options, according to him, and which I'm sure he is. I don't trade with him, so he's going to come in and teach an options class for us. Yeah, I don't know. Let's look at boat. I don't know why Zim's going down and the shipping ETF's not really going down. I don't know, man. We'll have to go look. When is the adult traders hangout? So we'll probably do that on Zoom. I'll put the links inside of the Discord group. So you guys that trade with me inside Discord, I'll hook you up with that when we iron out. I said, hey, I got a podcast coming out. I interviewed a member of the Banano crime family. He's a street soldier, locked up, did about 9 years in federal prison, and agreed to be on my podcast. So we talk about growing up in the mafia, what that was like. His uncle was in the movie Goodfellas, not his actual uncle. He was one of the characters that rode in the Jimmy Burke gang, which was connected to the Gambinos. So interesting. I'm a mob buff fan. I love mob movies. I love all that shit. So him having family knee deep in it and all of that, man, that's a lot. It was pretty cool. So he did turn state's evidence. So we didn't get into all that. I figured that's his business. Maybe on the next podcast, if it goes over well, we'll talk about that. And I try to dig in a little bit into the money of how the money works in the mob and bringing that back. So I hope you appreciate it. I've been editing it. It's about 45 minutes long. It's pretty cool. So I'm trying to bring on some other guests on the Money Flow Trading Society's podcast, Mastering the Trade, that are not necessarily stock traders or investors, but they're doing something interesting. Had a young lady on there the other day. She makes about $75,000 to $100,000 a year flipping shit on eBay. She's taken that money, invested into Airbnb properties in her area, and also the stock market. So that's neat. It's neat to me. My man there, now that he's out of prison, owns a car wash. Used to be, in the mafia. Now he has a car wash, and we talk a little bit about that in business. So hope you enjoy it, man. Simon Lerner is a good option trader, teacher, and trader. Simon is good, man. Simon is good. I like Simon. I go around and around. I'm going to be honest. I try not to hide my emotions. It's weird for me hanging out with the young dudes, man. That's just because, my son was about his age. I lost my son, so some of that stuff is weird for me, hanging out with young people. Not that I don't like them. I like a lot of them. It's just hard, So that's what some of that's about, man. Anyway, that's how life is, right? But we got to get through it, man. Gerald, thank you you're very, very welcome. If you don't have my free ebook, hit my bio link and we'll get on that. Let's get your buckets straight. And if you're trying to learn trading, come trade with me, man. Come trade with me. You could text me in the morning. Be like, Gerald, what are you looking at? And I'll tell you. All right, you guys be good.